Every designer's been there where you sit with a client, you use all the best methods of price anchoring and price bracketing and showing them that this is a return on investment. You give them all the little juicy, salesy things that you've learned, and the client still comes back and says, well, I can get somebody to do this cheaper. In this video, we're gonna talk about how to respond to a client who's looking at a cheaper option, because there's always somebody cheaper. We're gonna talk about what to do about it. I'm gonna give you some scripts. It's gonna be a super valuable lesson that you probably can use right now, starting today in your creative business. All right, let's check it out. So you take your client through your process, you finally present your price, but the other agency we're talking to is cheaper. Or they come back with like, well, I have pricing from a freelancer and it's like half your price. Or they get so bold as to ask you to just discount it. Well, how much can you come down on this price? We know we can get it done for cheaper. Now, what I wanna say when the client says, I know someone who will do it cheaper, my response is, well, I know a client who will pay more. That's what I wanna say, but it's a little angsty, and I don't wanna come across as angsty. Is that even a word? I don't want to come across as angsty to my clients, so I don't say that, but I think it in my head, and you've probably thought it yourself. These types of clients, the cheaper price type of client thing, kind of infuriates me, because I know that I'm trying to provide massive value to my client, trying to deliver big results for them. And when they're shopping for price, but I'm selling value, there's a misalignment. And that's most often what happens when a client says, I have somebody who can do it cheaper, is that they're just price motivated. And the truth is, we're all price motivated. We all make decisions largely based on price for a lot of things. And it's not just price, but it's price and value in comparison to the price and value of something else. In sales, it's called the cost of the best alternative, or the next best alternative price. If you do a search for either of those terms, you'll find stuff written up about this thing in sales, the cost of the best alternative. And what it is it's basically the value and price of one thing in comparison to the lesser value but lesser price of another thing. Let's look at a couple of examples. If you're traveling, you might look at it and say, well, we can fly, and flying will get us there faster, but it's going to cost more. Or what's the next best alternative? Driving. We could drive. Yes, it's gonna take us 10 hours and it will be less comfortable than flying, but it will cost less. And is that difference in price worth it to us to drive instead of fly? That's the comparison. One is cheaper and less value, the other one's more expensive and more value. And we take the next best alternative price into consideration when we're making that purchase. And this is what happens with your clients. They're sitting there and you're showing them your price, and somebody else is cheaper, because there will always be somebody cheaper. And they're trying to decide, is it worth getting the next best alternative option at a cheaper price, or should I go with Mike at the higher price? And yes, I'll get more, and yes, it'll be more valuable, but you know what? I'm okay with the cheaper version for my needs. So what do we do to combat this when we're in the sales cycle with our clients? Well, the first thing we have to understand is that a client who says that to you is putting price in the higher priority slot than value. The client values price more than the value of the work that you're giving. So they're okay going with the cheaper price. In order to combat this, we have to change that value. We have to flip it and make the value of what we're providing to them more important to them than the price. And what is the value? Well, the value in our offering, number one, is results. It's, can we provide better results than the other person? Can we provide better quality than the other competing next best alternative price? Can we provide it faster? Can we do it faster? Can we give them a better customer experience or better client experience? Yeah, you can go with the cheaper option, but it's going to be a miserable experience working with them. So some clients will pay more. And a lot of clients are gonna pay more for one of these things. They want better results, so they'll pay more for it. They want better quality, so they'll pay more for it. They want it faster turnaround, so they'll pay more for it. They want a better customer experience, so they'll pay more for it. And we have to start selling from that position when we're competing against a lower price point. So here's the response when your client says, I know someone who will do it cheaper. And you can pause this as I go through the script, but here's what it is. I'm sure you will find a variety of prices from a wide variety of creatives. It is natural to consider different vendors and what they have to offer. We're confident in our pricing and confident that the budget we have quoted you will be sufficient to generate the results that you expect. In creative services, it's usually in your best interest to spend more on a project, not less. Let me give you some examples. You need to make sure that your agency has enough budget to explore creative ideas and develop different options to find the best solution. Less budget means less time to explore ideas, less time to create quality work. A frustrated designer working within a tight budget is not going to deliver the quality and results you hope for. And then I also like to throw on this little optional thing. In some circumstances, you might give them the apples to apples comparison. It's also important to make sure you are comparing apples to apples with your potential vendors. Make sure each is planning to deliver the same number of comps, rounds of revision, final deliverables, and ultimately the same expected results that you hope for. Our proposals articulate the exact plan for the project. You'll have a detailed documentation of our exact process, each delivery round, and every final deliverable. Oftentimes, creatives will have a loose proposal, which opens you up to receiving change orders for extra rounds and deliverables. In the end, you end up spending the same amount of money as our bid, but it happens over a frustrating project experience where you're just getting change orders for the extra stuff that we have included in our proposal. So I just want you to look at that and just make sure that you're comparing apples to apples. Look at their agreement and make sure that what they're providing you is the same as what we're providing you. With us, you will know exactly what you get up front and exactly the investment it will take. So just make sure you're comparing that apples to apples comparison when you choose your vendor. Now, all that being said, we would be happy to work with you and are confident that we will do a great job working within the budget we quoted. Okay, so that's the script that you can use, or at least the style of what you should say. And here's a little formula for you to use to craft your own script. First, you want to validate their comment. Tell them, yes, I understand. There's always somebody cheaper. Validate that comment. Then express your confidence in your price. We're confident in the price we quoted you. Then discuss better reasons for them to decide. Speed, quality, results, the better reason other than money. We don't want money to be the decision-making factor when they choose their creative vendor. And then help them see the risk of spending less. Yes, you can spend less, but you're usually gonna get a rougher client experience. You probably end up getting some change orders. You're not gonna get the quality results that we're gonna provide for you. And then optional, make sure that they compare apples to apples. Look at both of the bids. And then close by expressing, again, your confidence in your price. We are comfortable that we can provide the results you're hoping for inside the budget that we quoted. Now, some clients just want the cheapest option. That's what they're looking for. They just want the cheapest option. And the truth is, sometimes we have to take those clients. I mean, if we've got overhead and payroll and things, we've got to take on some clients that we usually would price out. So there are circumstances when you may want to compete on price. Long term, it's not the right strategy for your business. The better strategy is to help your client make a purchase decision based on the value you're providing, not the price. And talking to them through this script is a way that you can help your clients see that difference and choose you because you are a more valuable solution. Cost of the best alternative or the next best alternative price. That's what we're talking about here. That's natural, and don't fault your clients for looking at it because you probably do also. You can stay in Hotel A for this much money, or Hotel B, you know what, still has a bed, still has a pillow, not quite Hotel A, but I'm okay with it. It's the next best alternative price. Your clients are gonna do it. It's natural to consider those things inside of all of our purchase decisions. Okay, thanks a lot. Hope you liked this video. Lots more coming from me. We'll see you again soon. Oh, and hit the subscribe button and all that stuff. Like it, subscribe,